Hi, I'm Scott, and this is Scott Rod's Wicked Rides.
All right, this is my office. I'm gonna take this wall and I'm gonna make something to stack all my Hot Wheels up on it. So I'll have a cool little wall in the background maybe for all my Hot Wheels to be all stacked up on. So that's what I'm gonna do right now today because I got some plywood and I need to get some of this shit out of my way. So. All right, we're gonna try something a little different today. This is what I'm working up to, so I have somewhere to sit and I have somewhere to explain what happened, what we're doing, what we're getting into, whatever. But yeah, I got a lot of Hot Wheels, obviously, laying around everywhere. So I'm trying to put them up on the walls, trying to make some sense of them. So yeah, I put up this wall the end of last week when I ran out of time, so it would have been Saturday. And then that was the day when we took the frame over, or we went and picked up the frame also to bring it back to my shop. I had to go take the rental trailer that I borrowed from my mom back because it was rented the next day. I had to drive out to my dad's house, which is about an hour away, to go get his trailer that he uses as a storage building pretty much. So I ran and grabbed his trailer, came back here, loaded up the freshly sandblasted frame again, and then it was ready to go out to my cousin's house whenever he was ready. So, took the frame out to my cousin's on Monday of last week, and then we went and bought the paint for the frame. So, therefore, it took a little while to load up last week's video because I was on the road, everything goes off my phone. So, we're trying to get that done. So, I had to drive one of the days for my mom, had to do a delivery, so I went and dealt with that on Tuesday. And we were dealing with some stuff, getting the band ready also. So I came over here Tuesday night. I was going to try and put up the other Hot Wheels wall. I got the bottom trim cut. I got 3 holes drilled in the trim to mount it, and my battery died. But it's okay, because the band showed up to practice one more time before they went on their run. So it was kind of perfect timing for all that. So we didn't get much done Monday, Tuesday. So on Wednesday, I was messing around here a little bit. I got 2 strips of the Hot Wheels put up, and I'm not really a big fan of the trim. I asked my dad if he had any leftover trim, and that's what I got. I don't know how I feel, so I only put 2 rows up. We're gonna kind of think about this a little bit too, because I got to do a bunch more still. So, Wednesday night, I went out to my cousin's and he painted the frame. So we have some videos of that getting painted. We had to seal it up with a primer. He did 2 coats of primer, sealer, and then he did 2 coats of base coat clear. I was going to get some better paint, but it's the frame. I'm not doing much of the stuff in purple, so therefore I didn't need a $600 a gallon paint. So I got the cheaper stuff. It was only $600 for all the paint that I'm gonna probably ever use for the purple. So I have extra, have lots extra. I got everything to make it work. So we got that all painted on Wednesday. So therefore you gotta wait a couple days and let it dry up, cure, whatever. I'm not a painter, I don't really know. So I left everything out there. We waited a couple days until my cousin said come and get it. Then in the meantime, I was out at my girlfriend's mom's house, and the garage is full of the dad's stuff that passed away. Tools, lots and lots of tools, lots of extension cords, lots of everything. So we were going through that. On top of all that too, some trees fell down on the property, blocked the one driveway of the neighbors, so we were gonna chop the tree up and get that freed open for the neighbors. So I was chopping trees for a couple days. Got that all done. We're going through some of the other stuff. So I got a fireproof cabinet that we got from them. Instead of selling it, I told them I'd buy it from them or whatever. We're gonna put that possibly in the new shop. Had some other shelving and stuff. We'll put that in the new shop. Got a couple other little minor things. We'll put that over at the new shop. My parents should be closing on that here in the next day or two. All right, how are y'all doing today? It's Tuesday over here this week, and well, I hope the missing parts that I needed from QA1 just showed up. The boxes look a little weird for what I needed. I think they sent me a lot more parts than what I needed. I just needed the one hardware kit for the rear panels to bolt on, and then I needed the rear diff cover. It looks like I got the whole rear suspension, torque arm, pan hard bar, cross member, lower trailing arms, install kit, and I just needed the frame notch hardware kit. I'm probably going to send it all back to them because I'm not going to be that person because I've already got everything. I'll keep it till I get it put on, but I'm probably going to send most of the stuff back, but I don't see anything that's the rear diff cover. So maybe some misunderstanding still, or it's hard to get your hands on one, but I still need a rear diff cover. Oh, maybe not. Yeah. That thing's heavy. Alright, that's the main thing I was missing for the QA1. Was I didn't have the diff cover. And as you see, the two brackets right here is where the torque arm bolts up to. So, therefore, I'm going to count my bolts right now and double check, but this should be the right pan gasket that I need, or the pan cover that I need. So that'd be cool. Need the bolts to put that on. Alright, so thank God, because I was looking at the parts list and I was kind of getting worried. So check. Number one is what I needed. Sweet. We'll open that up here in a minute. I got a banner. Install kit for the torque arm. 7039256. Pretty sure I already got that. I'll have to look through everything. We'll get it all unboxed and go through everything. Mixed carton. Alright. That box. Let's see, we got mixed cart number one. Oh shit. QA1 shirt. Sweet. Hardware for the cross member. Pretty sure I already got that though. Appreciate all the extra stuff, but I don't want to have what I don't need though. Hardware frame notch. See, it looks like a lot more bolts than what was in the Ford kit. Another mixed carton. Panhard bar. Panhard bar. I should have all that stuff already too. Trailing arm install. Should have that. Like I said, whatever I don't use, I'm going to totally send back to them. I don't need stuff. And I appreciate them reaching out to me right away. Main thing was I needed the stiff cover, and I needed the hardware kit for the frame notch. Other than that, it looked like everything else was originally packaged properly in my boxes. Let's see what this is. More hardware for the torque arm, which that might actually be for installing it on here. Who knows? Once I get into the kit, get installing it, but it looks like stuff I've actually already opened. So I really appreciate QA1 getting down on it right away. I appreciate the extra stuff. I'm glad that they did get back to me right away so we can get this truck continued on going once this frame gets painted. See what banner we got. It says new logo. Heck yeah, we'll have to lay it out so it sits flat, but got ourselves a nice little QA1 banner too. Got all our hardware that we need now. Should be able to get this all done. So I'm gonna do some more cleaning in the shop. Yeah, I got a lot going on in here right now. You'll see why here in a minute, but the parts came in. Let's double check and make sure that we got this right cover. This is what I'm trying to fix here in the shop this year. Is I got too many projects going on. I mix stuff together. I think one thing is another project and one project's another one. Well, long story short, they did everything correctly. I just don't know how to count, I guess. So I have been working on these C10s for a while now, and everybody else has had a 10 bolt in it, so I just assumed mine had a 10 bolt in it. And until recently, the rear end has been on the vehicle and I haven't really paid attention to it. And well, long story short, I am dumb. So I didn't count, double check, and double count before I called QA1. Well, they reacted before I could even get back to it to double check the bolts on it. And now I feel like an idiot because I've got a 10 bolt cover that I requested that they sent. No charge to, actually. And I need a 12 bolt. So I still can't continue on with my QA1 with the rear diff cover. Like I said, they did everything right. I messed up. So I needed to take a breath, take a step back, which I did last night. I stopped everything, got recollected, and now I've got to explain why I need a different diff cover because of my stupidity. So that's where we're at on Wednesday. I can't tell you how stupid I feel right now. But anyways, I'm going to put this back in the box. We're going to ship this back to them right away, so that way it's not just over here. I just hope that everything I've done with the 10 bolt kit is all the same for the 12 bolt. I don't know everything about these Chevys, as we all know, and we're finding out together. But I gotta deal with that now. I hope it works with the 12 bolt as the 10 bolt does, because I've already got all the holes all drilled. If not, guess what? I'm gonna be buying a 10 bolt rear end. So maybe I'll hang on to this cover until I hear back from them to make sure that the 12 bolt rear end will work with the 10 bolt kit, because I assume way too much. So that's what I get for assuming and not double checking and triple checking and actually looking at my own stuff. I guess it's because my whole life I was always told that all the Chevy stuff is all the same and interchangeable, and I'm finding out that my Smog motor and my Impala motor and my 71 motor are a little bit different, all of them. So yeah, so much for that just being in my head, and I need to keep just getting that out. So I'll stop on this right now because I got to go get a hold of QA1 and see. I'm probably gonna have to pay for it this time because I wasted my free part. So I'm gonna try and get that on the way now. Hopefully that'll be here the beginning of next week when the frame gets done, so I can actually get this rear end done. I'm glad I didn't buy the rear center section yet, because I need a 12 bolt, not a 10 bolt. So I'm gonna try and work on today on getting the axles out of that rear end, get the stuff cut off of it, and finding out what spline I have on my axles, so that way I can get this rear end actually ordered up, get the center section coming, so that way I can get that all done all at the same time. Again, QA1, you are awesome. You guys reached out. You guys went above and beyond. You gave me extra stuff, but I messed up. So again, if you're going to call and you're going to request parts that are missing in your kits that you buy from people, make sure you ask for the right part, because I hope I didn't upset them now, because I really wanted to work with them here in the future. So yeah, I'm gonna go call them. I'm gonna go start messing with this rear end. So let's do this. I haven't heard back from QA1 yet, but it was Memorial Day weekend. It looks like I follow them on social media too. I think they had a car show at their place, so they had a lot going on. I just need to figure out if I need to look for a 10 bolt rear end so I can make that cover I have work, and then everything will be okay. So I didn't chop up the rear end yet, just in case I got to sell the 12 bolt and get a 10 bolt. The 12 bolt still bolts up in a regular Chevy C10 pickup truck, so just in case I left everything, because I don't need the shock mount bolts, I don't need the lower brackets, but if I got to sell it, it's set up for the flip over the axle. So I'm waiting on that. I didn't order the center section yet because I don't know if I needed to get a 10 bolt. I don't know if I need to get 12 bolt. I just need to make sure that I can get a 12 bolt cover for the QA1, and that 12 bolt cover is going to work with the suspension I already have for 10 bolt. It's a nightmare on my part, but I messed up big time on this. Like I said, every other C10 I mess with has been a 10 bolt, so I assumed, instead of just easily counting the 12 bolts on my cover. So again, I still feel really stupid about that. But so therefore, I got done chopping the trees, and yesterday, which was Saturday, because today is Sunday, I'm wrapping everything up. So yesterday we went and picked up the frame, the cross member, for the control arms and everything, and then the valve covers are also painted purple. I really like this purple. Hope you guys like the color. I'm a big Dodge guy at heart. I can't afford a Dodge right now out of all the ones I like Hellcat. So the paint on the frame is actually 2024 Hellcat Plum Crazy Purple Pearl. So I think the color looks really awesome. I can't wait to start bolting the plates on there. But as you see with my cabinet and my other stuff that we dug out of her parents' garage, I'm going to clean up again in here. I gotta shuffle some stuff around, which I might wait till the band comes back. I think they still have another 2 days on their run, so I'm not gonna wait for a week. But I gotta make sure they're not gonna unload everything tomorrow when they get back, on Memorial Day, which is tomorrow. And I need to make sure. So if not, I'm going to block their little path that I had made for them, so it's easier, so they don't gotta zigzag through the cars. Yep, I'm just gonna keep on moving on with what I can. It's been really busy around here. Last week seemed to fly by, even though it didn't seem like we did much every day. But when we were working, it was nonstop. So again, we got the frame sandblasted and then painted, and then I got it picked up, and it's all over here now. also, I keep forgetting, we went to the sandblasters last weekend after we'd already, wrapped up the video, so I didn't have it, which is why I keep forgetting about it. The guy that sandblasted my frame has like, I don't know, like 10 or 15 buildings of cars. I only got to see 2 or 3 of the buildings of cars that he has at his personal place. But oh my gosh, the stuff that this guy has, I was very amazed. He has a lot of collectible stuff. He's got a lot of rare stuff. He's got a lot of one-of stuff. He's working on a one-of thing. We'll roll some footage here while I'm talking about it, I guess. So out in the front, when you show up, he's got this old Saab. I've never even seen one that looks like this. Well, you go in this building, he's got another one underneath this one lift. Well, above it, there's a quad cab 59 El Camino that he's making. Next to it, there's like OBS pickup truck. Next to that, there's X frames. Yeah, frames, not just one. He had like 3 or 4 X frames like my 60 Impala. Ready to go for bodies to be set on them. So the frame's already been painted. Looks like the wheels and everything's already been done. It's literally the frame's a roller, like ready roller. There's at least 3 or 4 of those there. My painter guy Brad that we introduced with the 57 Oldsmobile, he's been painting the 78 Ford F100 or F150. I'm not a Ford guy. Been painting the 78 cab and truck for him. So we went and walked in his paint booth that this guy had in the middle of his shop. Yes, a downdraft paint booth. That's where all the parts are curing up that Brad's painting. So it was really nice and clean in there. The work that this guy does is crazy. You come out of the paint booth and there was a step side OBS pickup truck. Well, that wasn't a 350 step side 2-wheel drive. That was a 454 SS with a step side body over it. He had an SS that got smashed in the back. Everything else was good on it. He swapped it into that step side, really clean body. So that was kind of cool. Big block, short bed, single cab, 2-wheel drive. Not a SS, but it was an SS. Like I said, the stuff he had there was crazy. 59 Impala 2-door sitting outside next to where my frame was at, ready to get work done to it. He had a 59 El Camino. They just got done putting floor pans in and stuff. So he's got 348 sitting on the stands. He had a 409 that was on the stand. Underneath of it, he had a matching numbers for one of his vehicles, 409 block. But this had, the one on the stand had Edelbrock cylinder heads on it, had a dual carb setup on it, Edelbrock intake. It had some money in it, and it's just sitting there on the stand. Yeah, and that was only the one building. I can only imagine the finished cars that this guy has, because I've been told he's got like a museum, and I'd like to see that one day. Maybe we'll take you guys with. But yeah, that was how my week started last week. Well, that's how my week started. Was Monday going to picking up that, or well, it was Sunday last week. We went and picked up that frame. I don't know, I had to go get on Sunday, but I went and picked it up on Sunday. So yeah, if you guys can pile all that together, awesome, because I'm just all over the place, and that's how I just work. So I tried getting done when I could. I got stopped a couple different places. Had to go help some people. Oh yeah. If you haven't seen my short, go check out my shorts. There was a Mazda 3 I had to go pick up on the side of the road. The engine fell out of it. That was kind of different. I've never picked up a car that had an engine falling out on the road. So I did a little short of that. If you guys want to see that little video, I'm not going to put it in here. But I'm going to keep working on the frame now. It's back. I'm going to go clean up. I'm going to try and get it on jack stands. So next week we'll be starting off with the Hellcat purple frame and putting the QA1 suspension back on it. I got to blast the spindles still, paint those. I wanted to get the steering box cleaned up, paint that, miscellaneous bolts, little stuff now. Now it's all on me. I got to clean that stuff up and I got to get it painted. So here we go. We're going to start working on that. You guys have a good Memorial Day, which should be today. Hope you guys are having a good one. And I will see you next week.
So if you like what you see, hit that like, subscribe, and notification button, because we have new videos coming out every Monday.